Haley was explaining why everything on his expense report goes into COGS Other.
That's right.
And this is season 3, episode 3 of Vlogging with Tempo. I'm Mark.
I'm Haley.
What are we talking about today?
Oh, pricing strategies that work to make sure that we stay in business forever.
That's really cool. What do we use?
We use margin versus markup, but let's start with how we price out jobs as a technician.
Oh, that's super simple.
Perfect.
You're supposed to say barely an inconvenience, but
No.
we'll roll with that.
No.
Straightforward pricing guide.
All right.
Yay.
Yes.
What's a straightforward pricing guide like? That's probably my thing because I'm service in your sales. So straightforward pricing guide is going to give you a category system, for lack of a better word, to simplify how we price out repairs. So repairs will fall into one of 7 categories, and you will know before we even start doing the job exactly what the job will cost. Think about the really old school way of doing it.
Hourly?
Yes. Still in commercial, but see, in commercial, like you'll go in and you'll have like a not to exceed or whatever, but that's not the way residential works nowadays, and that's a really good thing. Back in the days where there were time and material jobs, how would you know how much something would cost before you even started doing the work?
As far as materials and labor, or
As the homeowner,
you wouldn't.
you wouldn't. It's a blank check.
Yep.
It's like, well, here's your estimate and what we think it's going to cost, and then, well, maybe we'll come in. No one ever comes in below the estimated.
No, they always go ahead.
They always go above.
Yep.
And now with a good system like this, you can come in and say, I know exactly what it's going to cost to repair your air conditioner. There may be some things that are discussed up front about quality of life improvements or prolonging the life of the air conditioner. You bundle all those together, you present them, and it's before, and you get to authorize the work, and there's no surprises at the end.
So what happens if there is a surprise? Something that you don't catch.
Well, the guarantee would be that you would not catch it. Perfect. So you would just take care of it.
Oh, nice. Well, that is better.
But that's part of what else is in here.
Ooh, the guarantees.
The guarantees.
All right.
Let me efficiently flip through this.
Believe it's last page. It is the last page. Cut away. All right, there you go.
All right.
There's our guarantees.
Yep.
And they're the same on replacement and service?
Yep. We have a few more on replacement, but that they all come down to 100% satisfaction. So if the customer's not satisfied, we're not satisfied.
Yep. Is there any exclusions?
For 100% satisfaction?
Yep.
No, there's not. They just, if they're not happy, we'll come back and continually fix it, as long as we were the ones that did the job.
Yes, right. Or as part of the scope of work recommended.
Yeah.
So if you were to recommend that scope of work, and for budgetary reasons or whatever, you had to maybe go with not something as comprehensive and do some work down the road.
Yep. For replacements, we routinely do it. We'll replace the system because, well, the system isn't working at all. You got to have cold air in the middle of summer in Texas. Then if the ductwork can handle, let's say it's not leaking into the attic. Most of our systems are in the attic. So if it's not leaking into the attic, then you can push that out a couple of years, knowing that, yeah, I'm going to have to do this, but I can wait and I'll be comfortable until I get that ductwork repaired. Now we'll one thing that we routinely do is we notice, so when houses were built, 40, 50 years ago, and they started installing air conditioning in them, they weren't as familiar with airflow as we are now. So we add returns on a lot of jobs because it is lacking the proper amount of CFMs.
What's a CFM for the novice?
Cubic feet per minute.
For the layperson,
It's the same.
it's a measurement for flow.
Yeah.
Not air, but yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's what I was digging at.
Oh, my bad.
So if it was outside the scope of work that was proposed,
Yep.
then it wouldn't be guaranteed. If the total amount of work proposed was not accepted and only partial, the part outside that would be, it'd be the same thing with a service work.
Yep.
When we come in and we've got the stuff that is the immediate need. Some people, and it depends on the situation, it may be true, some repairs would be what you'd be referring to as just like a Band-Aid. Stop the bleeding right now and get through today and have the air conditioner running. You would evaluate the whole system and anything that could potentially break or malfunction within a very short period of time. That would be one option. And then if you were to present that option, they say, hey, I just want to go with the Band-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that was outside of just the Band-Aid then would fall into like not being guaranteed.
Right.
But it's still 100% because it's the work we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have the guarantee on every. I know it's in service, but if they repair this, you'll have to give me an example. But if they repair something and it is still working, but another component breaks down, that component that we repaired is still under warranty, but that other one, they have to repair that, and that is something that the technicians with all their fancy tools, they can see if this is wrong, this is probably wrong too, or this down the line probably caused this to break. So they'll be able to build their options, recommendations, I guess, to repair not just the thing that is broken that they can see, also the thing that most likely caused it.
Yeah, and that's where all the training is going to kick in, right?
Yeah.
If you got good training, technical training, right, where they've got a really good understanding of how things go, and then of course you have the training, but you also have those technicians that have a lot of experience. They've seen it before.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if we don't address this right now, I'm pretty sure I know what's going to happen because it's burned me in the past. I don't want you to be on the other end of that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's another thing that's really cool about experience and knowledge transferring all of that into technicians so that they don't ever have to be in that situation where, oh, you thought you could get by, but you didn't because here's what the data says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
What do you think about going back to paper price guides? I have my opinion.
Well, I feel like when you're dealing with like electrical devices right now in this day and age, there is a disconnect. Like it's not as personable. It's less human interaction. If you can sit there and point to something that can be flipped through, or if you can write something out, as long as your penmanship's not as bad as mine, you can even kind of, a lot of things I would do when I was in the field that you can't do on electronics. I mean, you can draw stuff, but it gives a little bit more interaction when you're almost like taking a piece of paper at a kitchen table and acting like it's a whiteboard where you can explain things. I've always been more of a visual learner, and maybe that kind of bias towards that gets me being more of a visual presenter, you know. But I think it gives a better interaction.
Yeah.
You know, I think people like it.
I agree. We for both of our system replacements and repair, we work off paper price guides. They're in our systems, but we've found that the homeowners actually like this, and I don't know what caused it, but there's a little bit of a distrust, and it may be because of the example that comes to mind is Uber. Whenever they introduced surge pricing, So you know the price when you get that ride, but that's not the price it was a day ago. And it's because there's more demand. So you could say in the middle of summer that the price is $100 for this repair, but in the off season it's $50.
Yeah.
Well, with paper you can't do that. You're not automatically updating the price based on the season. The price is the price. Our members get their discount based on a hard number that they can see any day we go into a house.
That goes into, I bet you that goes into a lot of discounts and talking even further about pricing strategy and then trust. There's a bunch of stuff that we can cover. I don't think we'll be able to knock it all out on this episode.
Yeah.
So we'll probably wrap it up right about here. Pick it back up in next week's episode. So this is Vlogging with Tempo. This is, if you like, comment, subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. Again, always looking for great applicants. If you can refer anybody, leave it in the comment. If you have a question about anything we cover, we'd love to look at those and get back, especially if you're out of market, we can help you out with that as well. Do you have anything else to add?
That's it.
That'll be it then
All right.
for today.